we're back. Anyway, hello. Let's just pick up where we left off. So you were talking about, well, Beza said, what do I break? And then Harlan started conjecturing, I believe, after Ileana was talking.
Is all this stuff happening right now?
It looks like it.
Well, can we figure out how long they've been watching by watching before right now?
You think they've been storing it? That makes sense. They're not all in here watching. Hey, let me take a look. Actually, can you all look around, see if you can find anything that maybe looks like a, I don't know, a remote control or something? Look for the rewind button.
What?
Beg your
God
pardon?
damn it. No, just look for something that looks like if you push it, it'll do something.
I mean, I can push Beza and she'll do something.
Yeah, I mean on the consoles. Just look around. If you see something that looks like you want to press it, don't press it and tell me. Okay? Can everybody give me a perception check? As he starts like saying, "Go, look."
16.
16,
19?
19.
Perception. Woof. It's a 4.
Whew.
Which makes sense because
Yeah.
Oliet's shell-shocked this entire time.
Yeah, basically. Beza, you really want to push a button. You find a button, you really want to push it.
I can't read their weird math language, but I really want to push this button.
Oh, there you go. All right. Let me see. And he slides over and takes a look. Okay, hold on. And he starts casting. You see all of these symbols kind of floating in front of him, and he starts staring down at the console, all the math that's written on it, all the sort of mechanist equation language. Okay, so we got that now. Alright, so you want it, what do you want, Harlan? You want to, like, see previous information?
Well, I suppose. Couldn't we find out how? Because our friend here was just saying that she's been gone for 6 months. So, how far back does it go?
Let's take a look.
You know, now that I think about it, how long have we been here?
Excellent question. Don't know how you think I'm gonna answer that, but excellent question. And he starts fiddling with the buttons. You see the screen start flickering and stuff. You can keep talking if you want. He's gonna be doing that for a little bit.
Shig, you all right? You're looking pretty consternated.
I'm having a hard time. What is... So we've been just here for a long time, and we don't know how long? Was any of this real?
I mean, we were really here.
And it's not like we were... I mean, I did things like I want to do them. I did...
I don't think I was that different from myself.
There's no real way to tell,
that
to be fair. And he kind of course, Sage has to insert himself into the conversation. But it's not like, I can't... I'll tell you this. It doesn't seem to be that much of an enchantment that you don't seem like yourselves. I mean, there'd be way more glowy around you if you were, like, straight up, you know, pod-personed.
understand that reference, but I think I know what you mean.
I wonder if this is what it was like for the people that were first in the chronograms after they started making everybody forget what was outside.
And Ileana chimes in. Alright, but so none of this seems to be doing anything to me, or at least I'm not, you know. I want to stay here because it's my fucking home. But like, I mean, I could leave if I wanted to, though. It's not like I don't all the time. So, all right. So maybe we use me as a control, right? So I know Faye, and Feline kind of nods. Right. I mean, Illy and I have known each other for, gosh, since we were kids. And we've lived here the whole time. And Ileana's like, right, so we grew up here. So we're... And Faye's Faye. I'm not saying she's not... She seems normal. Thank you. I don't really know Guy. I'm new. And he kind of like awkwardly sits there. He's still kind of straightening up his clothes. He still hasn't taken the lipstick off his face. No one's told him to take it off. in distinctly Feline's shade. Well, you're new, but you certainly insinuated yourself pretty successfully. What? Shit. Okay, sorry. So that's real. Feline's real, I'm real. Like, we are who we are. That's not different. So maybe you are all just... Maybe there's only a little thing tweaked. Thank you, Sylvia. So, Beza, we have our first wheel of causality tonight.
Okay.
With our new stuff. So, let's have a go, shall we? Hold on a moment. Oh, wait. Let's put them back. All right. I'm disappeared.
Fun test. Oh,
but here we go.
You're having fun test because you don't have to spin the wheel.
Let's find out what the wheel spin is. This is the perfect thing that could have possibly happened. Beza, what is your intelligence score? And what is your strength score?
My strength score is an 11. Because Dex fighter. And my int score is a 10.
Oh, that's less fun. They switch.
Okay.
Literally nothing happens. Damn it. Hold on. Now here's the thing, audience.
You've got to respin.
Yeah. If nothing happens, that's nothing. I think we should respin that wheel.
Fine.
So, I mean, we could change that to be roll 2d6.
You could re-roll the stats. Let's respin. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Oh, fuck. Okay. Oh. Wasn't planning for that one right now. How do you do is what we rolled. I didn't
Is that one of our new ones?
Yep.
I don't know the new ones yet.
Nope, you don't know the new ones. Give me a moment. Okay.
This is the face of concern.
Oh, this is gonna work great. So, Beza,
Oh.
as everyone's talking, and debating what's going on, your eyes kind of drift around the room. There's a lot. Just knobs, dials, flashing things. Screens. The screens are all kind of flickering as Sage is messing with them. And
Things I've been told not to break yet.
yes, and your eyes flutter over to the most interesting thing in the room, which is the big orb glowing in the center of the room. And you just kind of watch it for a while, sort of getting lost a little bit in the movement of it. And you hear a voice that you have never heard before. To what chronogram do you belong? Where is your assigned place? Everything in its place. Everything with its purpose. Only Beza hears this. Just for the record.
I wasn't made in a chronogram. I was made in the metronomes.
The metronomes are under the jurisdiction of the chronograms. I repeat again, which chronogram do you hail from?
I don't know.
And you are still sort of staring at this globe. And it takes a moment for you to realize that you're not talking out loud. You're thinking. No one's reacted to any of the noise you've made. And you turn around, you kind of look around looking for the source of the sound, and you turn around, and you're not in that room anymore. In a moment, in an instant, a blink, you are in a large bronze room. Maybe copper.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit is right, Beza. And you glance down. You are on a pedestal, a gear-shaped platform, a dais. And there's nothing around you. You get the sense that it's probably a long way down. And you hear the voice again from behind you. You are a citizen of Cronus, colony of the great, glorious Mechanus. And you are out of place, citizen.
She's gonna turn around.
Turn around and you see a trio of massive clockwork figures. They almost look like statues. They're sitting there. And they're kind of a tangle of shapes of, like, riveted panels of metal, and there's clockwork inside them kind of turning. There's almost like a puppet quality to them, as there's just this jaw that's sort of like lifting up and down as it talks. The one in the center. They're identical. And they all have these like wide-brimmed, almost hats, but they have lights on them. And all three lights are fixated on you. You kind of squint a little as they're blaring light at you. You are disrupting classified research. And you are outside your designated space.
As far as I know, I was never specifically designated a space.
Disruption is not tolerated, citizen.
I'm not trying to be disruptive. I genuinely don't know if I was ever assigned a place.
The light narrows, and you realize that those might be the eyes of this figure. Your intention is immaterial, citizen. Your effect is what is germane to our concerns.
Okay.
A ripple in the grand equation. A remainder, an unacceptable variable. Unpredictable. You were not meant to be. And yet you are here.
I guess. I mean, I was created.
Things that are considered accidents are accounted for in the grand equation. Yet you are not.
Better go double check your math.
The creature, with this creaking of gears, leans forward, and you realize how big this thing is. Just looming over you. Your head, its head is probably the size of your entire body. The math is divine and ineffable.
I don't know what that second word means.
Leans back, doesn't feel interested in explaining to you.
Can I go back home now?
You are disrupting a classified research effort. Disrupting our efforts to hold back the chaos of your world. Is that your intention? Variable? Remainder?
No, my intention was to stop the thing that was hurting our kids.
All is accounted for in the equation. All is as it should be.
Except for me, apparently.
Nods a little at you. You are not alone.
Looks around the room. I mean, you guys are here.
There are other variables to account for.
I don't know what you mean.
Kind of straightens up, leans forward. Do not vacate the premises.
She looks down.
The
Yeah, that's
Mechanist,
not a problem.
the Mechanist Authority will arrive to collect you and bring you back to your designated position. The chronograms
Oh,
are
you mean they'll need
designed.
crab plates. Sorry, I keep interrupting
You
you.
see it close its little headlight eye, and there's like a sound of grinding that you think it's giving off a sigh. The chronograms are divinely programmed. They are perfect. The equation must maintain balance. Remain where you are, and you will be collected. You will be back where you belong. Is that not what you want, Remainder?
We will take what you are saying under advisement.
You will remain where you are. And all of a sudden, you flash out as Sage is standing over you going, Oi. Oi, honey. You up?
I am
Hey.
now. We got a problem.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, that stupid orb thingy transported me, or maybe just my brain, I don't know, to this other place where there's a bunch of Mechanist Authority creeps telling me I'm a remainder and I'm not supposed to exist. Oh, and by the way, the Mechanist Authority's coming, so we should probably figure out what we're gonna do about that. Also, can I smash this shit now?
Oh, shit. Your brain moves about as fast as mine does. It's weird. I prefer you didn't smash things. I kind of want some of it.
Can
I
smash
came
the
all
orb?
this
'Cause
way. I
it's
don't get a souvenir.
somewhere again.
Oh, but there's a... I mean, I could take that.
That works.
I'll fiddle with it. And
I
he
was told
starts...
that I was supposed to wait here for the Mechanist Authority to take me back to my designated chronogram.
Oh, that sounds shitty. You should probably, not let them do that.
That would be my preference. They also said something about me being a variable that's not supposed to exist, which honestly kind of fits. And then also that there's other variables, which I pretended not to understand. And she looks at her friends.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Good job. So... Well, I suppose you could, you know, fuck some things up.
Right. Which way do I start?
Maybe just the screens for now. Something low stakes. Well, actually, no, Harland. I wanted to show you a thing. Hold the thought. Hold the smashing thought. And Sage walks over to the screens again, starts fiddling with the buttons. Alright, so, going as far back as we can go. And he, like, pushes a, like, there's, like, a spinny wheel. It's very TARDIS in here. There's a lot of bullshit. And so he's messing with it, and then he slows the grinding wheel that he's turning, and then he kind of lets it go. And the screen stops rewinding. And you see footage of this place. You see the season is different. It's what right now it's, we said it was spring, I think we said it was. I don't remember.
That's right.
So it's winter. And it seems like the winters are mild here. There's a little snow on the ground, but it's not too bad. You see the front of the town. And you see a figure standing in the middle of a bunch of snow right outside the village, staring up directly at you from the focus of the camera, or whatever it is that's looking there. And it's doing, the figure is a little hard to make out, but it's bipedal. Very thin, very tall, doing some sort of hand gestures, like, Oliette, you'd almost think that it's probably some sort of, like, somatic, gesturing, for spellcasting. And after it like it looks almost like you're catching the end of it. And when the figure stops moving their hands very obviously, they look up at the screen a little longer and start walking away. A couple of the other screens start popping up with similar imagery. You see the moment that these surveillance images began, apparently in the winter. There is some, like, sort of like almost an after image in the corner of the screen that has more of that math. And Sage is still slightly surrounded by those glowing words and symbols and random stuff. Yeah, it's about 5 months ago. So that would have been, and he rattles off a date to Feline. And Feline says, "Oh, if it started then that would be, well, you'll have been here for a few months now." I mean, that makes sense. I remember about that much of time with you. But to be honest, it's kind of like you've always been here. And she gives a little bit of a... Her smile is like kind, but she also realizes that that's probably not a very comforting thought to give.
Well, no matter what, the Mechanist Authority is currently on their way.
Then we gotta go get Verlaine and the kids. And Paul. We gotta.
If you need to warn them, I could give them a bit of a heads up. I did meet the little one. Paru, you said. Well, I met all of you, but if you wanted. Not sure what you all can do. So.
Why do we want to go again?
Hey, Beza, you want to start hitting things?
Yes.
Well, by all means, start hitting things.
Are there any chairs or anything in here?
Yeah, there's a couple. Back in the rooms that had cells.
Right. She's gonna go get one of the chairs and start smashing the computer screens and the monitors and the equipment.
Okay, give me
Leaving it alone since he asked her to leave it alone.
Okay, give me a strength check.
Okay. She's also going to pull out her swords a little bit and like cut through wires.
Anybody else gonna help trash the place?
Juliet is going home.
Okay.
13.
13. Okay. Harlan, what are you doing?
I think Harlan. I'm making my gut. He is going to follow all of that.
Okay. So, Beza, you pick up a chair. You start swinging it around like a club. You aim for a few of the screens, and they shatter with like a crystalline glass shattering. And there's this poof of flash, almost like an old-timey camera, like the ones that would have the powder, the explosive powder exposed. It's like that, and there's this big plume of smoke that comes up from the flash. And Sage is like, "Oh fuck! All right, yeah, go for it." And he looks around. Yeah, sure, why not? And he goes over. He has his staff with him, and he he basically does a baseball bat swing at one of the screens, and just another smoke comes up. Feline and Guy and Ileana are just staring at all of you. Like, Guy, in what is a very common thing for Guy, feels the peer pressure and awkwardly kind of like, okay, is that what we're doing now? Okay. And he goes to get another chair and starts like trying to break something. Poor thing though, he's not gonna be able to do that. You see him like hit a console and just ow, 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 as just like a reverberation hits back. And Feline is like, okay, you're right, it's fine. No, you don't have to smash anything if you don't want to. No, I want to help though.
You really want to help? You can figure out how to get one of those panels open so I can tear all the wires out.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can do that. I can try that. Sure. And he starts, he leans down where one of the panels are, and you watch as he like starts trying to find a section in the panel, kind of like trying to pry it. He's a strong guy, but he's definitely more athletic, or he's definitely more like dex than he is strength. And he can't really get into it, and then he's, hold on, and he pulls out a couple sheets of paper, like a bunch of them, like he has a bunch of the like origami squares, and he casts with his hand, and you watch as a bunch of the paper like seeps into the cracks on the panel, and like folds around itself and like creates almost gift wraps the panel. And he starts tugging like at nothing, like he's sort of puppeting it, and you watch as the paper like holds and starts like nudging it out, and he gets a like just a second, and he can like get a knife in, and then he pries the panel open. The paper all falls. There's just origami paper everywhere now. And he gets into the panel. Okay, I got there's that seems like an inefficient use of gears. And you see that there's just like it's like a steampunk convention threw up in there.
There was a lock on the cell that Ileana was in, right?
There was, and somebody
like
rolled real
lock?
fucking good on that. I don't remember
Was
who
it
it was.
like a loose lock? Was it attached?
It was attached to the door. It's part of the door construction.
Right. Beza's gonna pick up a couple of the metal pieces
Okay.
that they've broken off of other things and shove them into the gears.
Okay. Yeah, you just start messing with all the internal stuff going on. And as you do that, there's more like sort of angry gear breaking noises, like grinding and screeching, and everybody kind of winces. But the screens all start flickering, and the orb at the center of the room starts dimming a little and then brightening, and then dimming and then brightening. It's very erratic on what it's doing. Oh, he's gonna... I guess it's all connected. Oh, well. Fine. You owe me something neat, though. And,
All right.
so you start...
You're gonna have time meat for me later.
You keep messing with stuff, and, what are you just, like, shoving stuff in? Are you doing anything, like, with your hands? Are you just, like, pulling anything out, or you just... Okay. So you start doing that, and, you're just, like, jabbing... You're basically, like, shoving something into someone's bicycle spokes, like that kind of thing, and you're ripping any wiring or cabling out. You see there's just, like, oil starts splattering everywhere as you, like, loosen up some tubing. There are, like, loose like gear pieces that are still turning, but like there's loose pieces like smacking other pieces of metal now, so you're as you're just like pulling everything apart from working like clockwork. and you grab a hold of something that's like glowing, almost looks like a mechanical heart kind of thing, or like something between a heart and an exhaust pipe, and you crunch it with your hand. And as you do that, the seams of this little metal container start glowing as something inside it ruptures as you crush. And as you crush it, you feel this jolt of pain up your arm, and your vision goes white, and you start getting a bunch of different images in your head. You start seeing the fields of this place in snow. You see you feel like you're seeing it, but it's more like you're reading something that was downloaded into your brain. You're reading about one of the Mechanist Authority officers that is located here in town. You get a full family history of them and a picture, and you see them clearly in your head. This greenish, bluish skinned moon elf with black hair and this very stern, gaunt look on their face. I don't have their name on the top of my head right now, but I'll give you the name, and you'll have all the information about that person. Just, you're Neo from the Matrix right now with that. You get a glimpse of that room again that you got sucked into with those creatures, those big mechanical constructs. And for a split second, it feels like they turn to look right at you. And then it flickers again. You see a white void. There's nothing there except right in the middle, there's a platypus staring at you. And it looks like it has seen the end, the heat death of the universe, and it knows things that no being should ever know. And for one instant, you connect so viscerally with this platypus as you understand what it's experiencing, because you're experiencing it right now too. And then it flickers away, and you're also seeing a thank you, Matthew, for the NPC. And then it flickers, and you're seeing a screen view of all of you first coming to town. You feel as if you're watching it from the monitor, and then it flickers away again, and you kind of shock back, and you just see a bunch of all the gears messing up inside this area. And in the distance, like somewhere in the back of your back of your senses, you hear Sage yelling at Guy, like, no, if you really want to fuck something up, you gotta look for like a power source or a memory thing, or like, you know, you gotta, like, you can't just like break a leg on a well, no, you can break a leg on a chair, that'd be alright. Yeah.
Ow.
Hey, you alright in there? You know, it's not really a good idea to just stick your hand in things. You don't know what they do.
Yeah, about that, she comes out holding the crystal. Don't grab these with your bare hands. That hurt my head a lot.
Oh. Yeah, typically you don't want to, like, grab glowy things if you don't know what to do.
It's like it downloaded information to my brain.
Oh, anything good?
You know where the Mechanist Authority guy lives in town.
That's fucking helpful. Alright.
I know his name and his blood type and his birthday and his sister's birthday and his mother.
You know what they had for lunch at his cousin's quinceañera? Like you know way too much about this guy.
Like his entire, what do you call them? Employment file?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say existence, like you didn't know that word. Well, that could be fucking helpful.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna like him.
He seems more like a bureaucrat in your brain. You have a bureaucrat in your brain now. Or at least the personnel file of a bureaucrat, which I bet is super dry. But yeah, so you tell him all about this, and he's like, "Oh well, all right. So you well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We should check in on him now. Whatever you did though, that really messed up the glowy thing. If you want to keep doing it, I mean, don't keep doing that. But we'll just mess with the glowy thing. We'll just mess with the glowy thing. I should do that. You know what? Go ahead. I'll give you full permission to smash the glowy thing."
All right. And I'm trying to think. Are these chairs just wooden chairs?
No, they're metal. They're like metal, like slidey chairs. Like, just something you, not slidey, like rolly, but.
She's gonna grab the chair by the legs.
Okay.
And swing the back of the metal chair against the orb as hard as she can.
All right, give me another strength check.
That's not as good. That's a 5, because strength is not my...
You feel a reverberation hit you, and it stings.
You know what? Hold on a second. And she activates her rune that lets her grow large. And tries again. And I have advantage now.
So
that's a 20.
No, that's fine. Just okay. You start growing in this 12-foot tall room. And it's very Alice in Wonderland. Everyone gets shoved to the side. You see, you realize pretty quickly that you're gonna hit the ceiling. And you see Guy sort of step in front of Feline and Ileana, like, and he pushes, and there's this little sheet of paper that, like, doesn't do anything. It's just it's like cardboard. And Sage is like, whoa, 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 there. And he gets smushed against a wall. And then you swing.
It's a large-sized creature.
Large creature? Large is pretty big. I mean, large can be anywhere from, a large creature can be anywhere from 8 to 16 feet tall. So...
I was assuming I was at the smaller end of that.
You are pretty compact is mainly the point. Like, you're a pretty compact creature, and then increase that to 16 feet tall. So you take up some space.
Sorry, I misjudged space in the room. Give me 1 second, and she's gonna smash the thing.
Okay, so you rolled a 20, you said? So you take the back of the chair, which is very small in your hands now, and you crack into that glass. And there's that little flicker of camera flash again. And you smack against it again, and there's this bigger flash. There's these clouds of smoke accumulating inside the glass, and some of it's starting to filter outside of one of the cracks.
She makes sure she's between it and everyone else in the room as much as possible.
Okay. And you take one more swing back, and you slam down. Everybody kind of prepares. And we'll get back to what happens. Yep. So, Oliette and Harland, you are walking back to the house. It's not that far of a walk, a few minutes. Do you talk at all on the way back? Or is it kind of awkward silence?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Oliette is... It's a little bit of, like, tunnel vision right now.
Sure.
Just trying to get to another place. So I think it's just kind of storming through the streets silently. And then realizing I don't have my fucking house key at the front door.
Mm-hmm.
And then Harlan walks up and unlocks the door.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Push in. go upstairs. I assume Blaine hasn't made it here yet.
Not quite yet.
So
No.
yeah, we'll make a beeline, I think, for the bedroom to get to the nightstand.
Sure. You head over to that room. The house is dark. Nothing seems to have been touched, and you head to the nightstand. You open it up, and the book is there.
Okay.
Exactly how you left it.
Probably a little bit. Yeah. I will just sit down on the edge of the bed and crack it open to a blank page and write. If I tell you that things are not okay, is that getting through? Can you understand what I'm saying? Is there? Are you hearing me? Essentially.
Remind me, did you try to do this before or no? You haven't tried.
I probably jotted like sweet notes, like
Sure.
things are great here, like this is so nice, kind of a thing. But I don't know if I even, honestly, I don't know if I even waited for much of a response before. At this point, I'm like clutching the book, white knuckled, like waiting for something to come through.
So you stare at the page. It often takes a moment or two to get a response. This time it is almost immediate. And you see in Her Majesty of the Words very fine calligraphy. What can I do?
Okay. I will write back. Nothing yet. Have to run. We'll check in shortly. And then we'll tuck the book away and dig my old pack out of the bottom of the closet. I imagine is where it's buried somewhere.
Yep.
And start packing.
Okay. What are you doing, Harlan?
I think, sorry, somebody's being very noisy in the backyard. I think that he stands in the doorway for a bit and look at the fireplace that is probably still warm from having a fire, and notices that the firewood is a little bit low, so he goes out back to start chopping wood.
Okay. After a little while, Oliette, you hear that noise. You know that sound. Sort of out in the window. I assume this is a one-story, like a cottage kind of thing. But is it two?
I thought it was two.
Okay, then it's two.
I think it is two, actually, because we have a, yeah. Anyway,
So you hear it outside downstairs.
It definitely, I think Oliette freezes for a moment. Tries to collect all of her old belongings, like trying to remember what I even came here with, kind of a thing. Like,
It's up to
did I
you.
have this before?
Well, it's entirely up to you if you have any interest in. I mean, your sensibilities have shifted a little bit, so maybe you bring some of the cottagecore clothes.
Sure. Oh, I mean, I'm definitely going to take at least one outfit from
It's
the.
like I really
bookstore.
like this. So
I look very good at this. I like
for a
in the
moment you're
closet,
just like you're like freaking out. You're having this existential dread, and you're like, but this is really fucking cute.
I do look really good at this. I'm gonna take it. Shove it in there.
I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, and then I will go downstairs. I'll toss the pack on the couch and go out in the backyard and just watch Harlan for a minute.
He is moving methodically. He's not piling the wood up. He just puts a log on, puts the log in a split on the stump, and splits it, and just lets the wood just fall on the ground.
I imagine this goes on for at least a good minute and a half to 2 minutes before I kind of can't take it anymore. I also recognize that Harland is in a space right now, so I'm not going to get too terribly close to this swinging axe, but
That's fair.
Harland, we have to leave. What are you doing?
Verlaine and the kids ain't here yet, which means that they're not going to be packed yet. And we might as well have a little bit of hospitality going when they get here.
Talking about? We have to pack and go get them. We have to leave. They don't even know to come to us.
Did you tell Verlaine to come and check on the book?
The kids. Paru would have gone home after.
You're right.
Put the axe down.
He sinks in the last one and then just kind of on the stump. Thinks better of it, brushes the stump off, and sits on the stump.
I don't... I will approach and try to just gently put a hand on the side of Harlan's face to get him to look at me.
He flinches.
I'll withdraw.
Thanks, I didn't need my heart.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening.
I don't either. All I can think about is that we've had a good few months living life like I always fantasized. Good friends, good food, good socializing, good times otherwise. I just have to wonder how much of it was a lie. How much of it was something that we chose, and how much of it was something that was imposed upon us. Sorry, I could keep my face straight.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know. I don't, this is...
bef- before you try to think about your answer or whatever you're trying to say, I just want to say I'm never the type to deliver an ultimatum, and I won't now. We can talk about this when we're away from the situation, but just in retrospect, I wouldn't have changed anything. I still would have chose you.
Uh,
I just I just want you to, if this, and he gestures at the house, if this is what you want out of something with me, then great. But I want I want you to have been the one to choose it. I don't like feeling like this may have been coerced on any level.
I I don't know if I can even answer that here because I don't want to leave, but I don't know what that means.
Uh, that's I I don't need an answer right now. I don't. But I would be remiss if I did not communicate what I was thinking about and what I was feeling when I felt it. Although timing could have been better, I realize now. But just, you know what? He stands up off the stump and it's not your job to help me process. It's I'm a big boy. I can figure out my stuff.
Aaliyah, you're looking out at at the yard as Harlan's looking at the house and you see behind him a big flash of bright light back from where the hedge maze was. It's just for a moment. It's like again like a big camera flash, and it burns your eyes a little bit to see it. And as you both kind of flinch a little bit at this bright light, takes a moment, but then there's this whole time, even as you were leaving in quite a bit of confusion and uncertainty, as you were leaving the hedge maze, there was still this wall in your mind that was like protecting you from it, from the reality of what that was. Still a part of you going, okay, well maybe this is being staged, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's normal. Maybe everything's okay. There's that little sliver of like clinging to maybe that's not what's happening. Maybe I can just ignore it. As you see that bright flash, that impulse kind of just cracks, and you feel a little like, for the first time in a very long time, you feel an impulse of, wow, it would be really nice not to be here right now. The town, not immediately here, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would
maybe I won't judge that.
immediately. Harlan to see if the same thing is, if it's registering on his face as well.
Yeah, should I take the blue chambray or the yellow chambray? Because I think I look better on the yellow chambray. We should go. We should pack. We should.
I mean, you look fine in both. Take them both. We're literally probably never going to go back here, so take them both. The pink gingham is really cute too.
I mean, I can throw that into my bindle, sure.
You could make it into your bindle. A pink gingham bindle makes me so happy. You're welcome, Kyle.
I will, before he takes off into the house, I'll grab his hand.
He doesn't flinch.
Okay, let's go.
And
I'll run in.
Gives your hand a squeeze, and
the firewood forgotten outside as you run upstairs to go pack. Beza, the light is blinding in that last moment of impact. And it just and you get a bunch more visions. A bunch of things happen all at once in your head. You see... Oh my god, fucking base. Oh my
amazing.
God, Heather! The live effects of the god damn. What's the word? God damn it. Yes, acting talent. You see a weird fast forward of so much footage of what's happened over the last 6 months here. You see people going about their lives happy. You see new people joining the town. You see Gonk, the big orc. You see a halfling that you've known, a halfling woman with red hair. I think her. It is weird. She and Harlan got along really well when they first met because they both have fire in their last name, so they were both enjoying that. You see all of you starting to set your lives up. You see Oliette getting her first dollar or her first coin from the bookshop. You see Harlan made a massive 6-course meal after that happened. You
burned 2 of them.
Yeah, I mean that's why you make 6. So you have some backups. And you see things you shouldn't be seeing, things that you weren't there for. Well, I mean that too, but there's cameras in a lot of places, and you're like,
You're welcome. You're welcome.
No, you see Guy showing up at the inn. You see, you basically see his and Feline's meet cute, basically. And then you see things that don't make sense. You see a version of Rose Upon the River that has basically been overrun with the Clockwork Authority. You see everybody in reacclimation jumpsuits. You see the flowers all being mowed down into very straight hedges. You see another glimpse of that room, that big room with the clockwork people, and again, for the briefest moment, you feel the lights on the tops of their heads, those eyes, those single eyes, turn at you. And then it flickers away again. You take the time to do that. You see Paru in front of you. She is... She looks like she's... like she does here in the town. But she looks like she's in a little bit of a panic. You see that there's like tears in her eyes. And you hear her, for like the briefest moment, say, I should have given it to the ferryman when he asked. I should have. And then she fades out of your vision. You see Villain. You see Villain take the glove out of your backpack and walk away.
I don't have the dagger.
The dagger. Thank you. The dagger. Takes the dagger out of your backpack. And this is inky blackness that kind of just takes over the vision of it. And then you see Villain watching the twins goof off in a marketplace, and he's got this little smile on his face. It's like quiet calm. You see all sorts of things that didn't happen. Like all sorts of variations on what happened here while you were all in Rose Upon the River. Like you're not even quite sure how to process it. It almost feels like you're seeing alternate timelines. But maybe there's a part of you that kind of echoes back what the mechanical, like the Mechanist Authority guys were saying. That the equation has like accounted for variables. Maybe it's other permutations of the grand equation. Maybe it's what would happen if this happened. Maybe they've mathed it all out. And that's what you're seeing is possible scenarios. Who knows? You're not really sure. And then your hearing comes back to reality, and there's a and you wake up on your back and there's magical smoke everywhere, and you hear some coughing. You see Guy poke his head out in the tunnel, and then Feline kind of scoots past. They got into the tunnel when this happened.
Oh, sorry.
This is it's okay. Just what happened?
I broke the orb.
Yeah, you did. You fucking broke it. Sage is like punch drunk. He's like bleeding. Pulls himself out from behind a table.
Are you all right?
I'm fucking great. You know, I don't always meet people that show me a good time when I go to places like this, but you're a good one.
How hard did you hit your head?
Pretty fucking bad. And he puts his head on the table. Beza, in your mind, I mean, your minds are real busy right now. And there's still that sort of echoing memory. It's like you just woke up from a dream. It's very vivid right now. Very, you feel that kind of pulse racing panic, kind of, you don't know what's going on sort of feeling that you did when you were having these visions. And you also feel like they're starting to fade a little, like you don't quite remember the first thing you saw. You remember the platypus from before. You will always remember the platypus. Seared into your mind with its death stare. It is hard to forget Paru crying. That's not a great image. Also, really not easy to forget that juxtaposition of Verlaine giving into that temptation with the dagger, but then also what he's found here.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone...
They have never told him that the dagger's in there.
Yeah, correct. That's why you're like, it doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. He doesn't know it's here. I mean, maybe he found it, but there's that little gnawing conflict right now in your head between what you know to be true and what you don't know. Like you're not sure what in there is real and what was these like weird pseudo realities.
So, I feel like I have a lot of different variations of the past bouncing around in my brain.
Oh,
don't
I know
know
how that
exact-
is. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Or the head.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not
But we
great.
should probably get out of this hole. Also, she looks over at the locals, Faeline and Ileana. Do you guys know anyone that could fill in this hole so they can't get back in here? Preferably permanently.
Maybe. Probably. There's a few. There's a few people that could. Sure, I could figure it out.
Stone, fireballs.
Oh, I could do a bit of things. I might be able to, not really dirt, but I could, it's kind of hard with all this. And you watch as she's glancing around, trying to look for something around the metal. And Guy kind of sidles up next to her and is like, what are you looking for? Oh, and Feline leans over and kind of like whispers to him quietly. And you see Guy run off for a second. After a minute or so, he comes back and he has like he has cuts all over his hands and he has a chunk of a rose bush in his hand. And he hands it to Feline, and Feline just kind of puts it gently on the ground, and she starts casting over it, and you watch as the rosebush starts, the chunk of rosebush starts growing a lot. I could probably cut it off a little bit, see if that slows them down, at least for now.
It's definitely not gonna make it easy for him, so I'm all for it.
Right. And Sage is like, oh yeah, and I could do this. And he casts, and you see a massive fist show up in the air, and he starts punching walls. And you all start leaving, as he's just like, he's just humming something. And you're like, I don't know that reference. I don't know what he's singing. So you all start leaving. And you know, Beza, that you need to make haste if the Mechanist Authority is coming. What do? You have information about that member of the team. Or you can head back to Harlan and Oliette's place. You know they were going there.
Yeah, is my place on the way to theirs?
Yeah, Alistair's place, the garden shed in the back of Alistair's house. Yeah, sure. I mean, everyone's kind of close to each other at this point in the town.
Okay. She looks over at Sage. Can you contact Paru for me and tell her to meet me at Oliette and Harlan's?
Sure. Yeah, I could do that. Huh.
Preferably with the Lane and the kittens.
That's a lot of people I didn't meet. And Feline's like, I could do it. I could yeah. And
Can
Guy.
you tell?
Hmm?
They need to know that the Mechanist Authority's coming and we gotta get out of here.
Okay. And she'll really quickly rattle that off to Paro. Still meet you at Oliet and Harlan's.
Thank you. I appreciate everything. Ileana, I don't really know you very well, but I respect the fact that you saw through this crap.
Feelings mutual.
Feline and Guy, it's been really nice getting to know you. We're gonna have to leave now.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stay with Feline. I'll make sure
That makes sense.
we get go do what you gotta do.
Sage, thank you for your help today. I don't know where you're heading after this.
I don't fucking know either. That's the wrong accent.
If you're looking to leave town, you're welcome to join us getting out of town, and then after that, go where you're gonna go.
I'm good. I got my own thing going, you know, lone wolf kind of thing. It's just fluttering in, you know, like a glorious murder butterfly, and then leaving. That's just kind of my thing. Thank you, though. I'm just gonna grab what you know what? I'm gonna grab what I can. And he looks over at the charred remains of the spectator. You mind if I scrap this? There's some fun stuff in there.
But I don't want to carry it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And he starts kind of wandering over to it and picking it apart. You have no idea how he's going to get any of that wherever he's going, but he doesn't seem concerned.
Why am I wearing a dress? And for obvious reason, I'm not going to. But Beza strips off the dress and throws it on the ground because why is she wearing clothes she doesn't need to?
And it's not like you don't remember doing it. You're just like, I don't need this. It's unnecessary. And so yeah, so you head back. Oliet and Harland, as you're packing, you hear the door open downstairs. Hey, you guys here?
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
Okay. Yeah, I brought the kids. They,
Are you packed and ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, didn't need to pack. And
Do you-
Villain turns around the corner and shows his hand. Like, do you need... Yeah, quick. It's fine.
How do you feel?
Look, I really want to get the fuck out of here. I
That's a
mean,
good sign.
nice and all, but we got shit to do.
Yeah.
Or shit to not do, as the case may be. Beza said that there's people coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. As soon as she gets here, we'll leave.
He kind of hesitates a little bit. You okay? You don't look okay.
Kids doing right now?
They're just kind of wandering a little bit downstairs. Paru's helping them. They're...
I definitely would have told the kid, like, get as much food as you can carry. Bring everything out of the ice box.
As much as you can.
As much as you can, Toshi. Everything you can carry.
Immediately, tail sticking out of the fridge.
There's a lot.
Just...
Yeah, if the kids are, like, out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paru's got a bunch of, Villain, they don't seem to be carrying much of anything. Villain seems to be carrying all of it. He is the mule.
I can imagine.
His hand of holding is the best thing I've ever made. Anyway. So yeah, he's just kind of awkwardly standing there in the doorway as you guys are packing. Do you need Harlan, you need someone to carry your stuff for you or whatever? Make a quick exit.
Yeah. There's a couple of books that Elliot was reading that she seemed mighty fond of. That one
yeah,
and
there's a
that
lot of
one.
them in here. Yep. And you toss any of them to him, and as Villain reaches, they close their hand and like into the extra dimensional space.
Toshi, where are you?
Yeah, I'm packing.
I was gonna get you on that. Find as much food as you can carry, and
Elliot
just go
already
ahead.
told me. I'm on it. Sticks back in the fridge. It's like we don't feed you. I don't do that. The kid looks so confused about their brother.
Don't eat what's in the brown paper back there.
Why not?
It's not cooked yet.
Oh. He opened it and clearly got a whiff of whatever it is.
Something that is wrapped in brown paper and hasn't been cooked yet.
Great. Villain is kind of, as he's picking the books up, he's sort of anxiously rattling off everything that he's packed away. Like, almost like he's making a mental checklist of making sure they have everything. And he's like, okay, so we have and he's pointing to the person he took it from. So he's just like, okay, so all your clothes, your stitching stuff, Paru, your mushroom samples, I got those. Then the lock, and he's just in his head trying to think of everything.
Do you want to write it down?
No, it's not worth it. We gotta go. No, it's if we can get something different, we can get something new if we forget something.
We came here with nothing. We'll leave with whatever we got, and we'll make do. It's fine.
Yeah. Sure.
We got each other.
Oh, very cute. We gotta go. And you all get your stuff together. Anything you want to have Villain carry, he's happy to carry. And you all start leaving the house. You notice there's a little bit of a gathering of people. People are starting to kind of like leave their houses a little bit. And kind of just looking around. Almost like there's a couple of people in their front yards kind of congregating with some of their neighbors, and it seems like they're chatting a little bit, and like a bunch of them
post-earthquake.
Yeah, like people are kind of processing or trying to figure out, like, wait, does something feel different? Does it feel different to you? Or, I was passing through here on my way to an appointment, and I missed that appointment by like a month. People like that. You see, Harlan, you see Gonk, with a bag full of a bag full of something. It's very misshapen duffel bag, and an entire barrel of ale under his arm. And he seems to be leaving at a very quick clip. But he is passing by you all as he leaves, and he sees you, Heartland, and he's like, Joke man, Gonk must go. Gonk has appointment with revenge. But Gonk will never forget you, funny joke man.
That's mighty appreciated, Gonk. I don't think that you are someone I will soon forget either. Especially with all of the gold that Angela has yet to tell me what I received from him.
30.
The first night that we
You
were
got
here.
30. I rolled a D30
30?
and I got a 30.
Okay.
It's like you still owe me 30 gold. And he goes, Funny Joke Man has earned Gonk's appreciation forever. Gonk will tell Gonk's children about Funny Joke Man and his jokes. Gonk does not have children yet, but Gonk promises to do so. And you watch as he kind of like, he puts the barrel down and he reaches into this awful duffel bag. It looks like he's got like clothes and knives and like an axe sticking out of it. And you get a distinct whiff of like the stuff in the brown paper that Toshi wasn't supposed to open. And then he reaches in there and he has not one of the kegs from the Hearth and Home, but it's like sealed in this black tar sort of material. Almost looks like it's been waxed, but you're not quite sure what it's made of. And it's this shiny material, and there's ropes like tying it around, and he hands it to you. It's like a barrel. Let me make sure I don't have any water in this. It's like a barrel on its side, and there's some ropes around it, and he hands it to you. And it's just a tiny one. It's maybe a gallon.
Like the size of a Virgil's root beer.
It's like a 64 growler, maybe a little bigger.
Hmm.
And he goes, Gonk will get more of this where Gonk is going. Funny joke man deserve real ale. We're saving for special occasion.
What kind of ale is it?
It is kind of ale you drink with the blood of your enemies.
As in with a blood chaser, or is it like...
You are usually covered in the blood of your enemies. It just gets in as you drink.
Delightful. Thank you, Gonk. I will most definitely drink it when covered in viscera.
And he gives you a big pat on the back, almost painful, and then goes, and then he packs all his stuff up and starts walking, and he goes, farewell, funny joke man. Thank you for standing comedy.
Least I could do, Gonk. You just keep gonking.
That's the Foley of him leaving. Gonk, gonk, gonk. And he walks off into the sunset to an unknown story. You see a few people that you've seen in town that are definitely not part of Rose Upon the River at all. You see on your way out, Harlan, you see your buddy, Illica Firestarter. You're bonding over the fact that she had fire in her last name, the halfling woman, and she runs into you guys on the way out, and she also looks like she's packed up and ready to go. She's got, weirdly, like a lot of, you haven't really seen her in what could only be described as like a ghillie suit, but like fashion. It's just unusual to see her like that. And she stops a little bit as you're walking out with everybody. Oh, you guys are leaving too.
Well, yeah, we're trying to get out of here. I think we might need to make scares.
Huh. I would have sworn you were from here.
He kind of winces.
Who the fuck knows what was going on? I'd say that this was the first time I've been enchanted, but that would be incorrect.
This is definitely the worst one. It stands out.
Well, best of luck. Y'all ever need anything? I'm always a hop, skip, and a jump away from the Fae, so you ever need anything, you just you hit me up, okay?
Yeah, we'll do. Be sure to be seeing you at some point.
Great. Take care. You. And she.
Be well, Lily.
Yeah, you too, Arland. And Ellica leaves. And Beza, you find the rest of them heading out.
Just like anxiously waiting at the gate.
Beza didn't take very long to gather up her stuff. It was pretty much grab the backpack that has the evil dagger, shove all my family figurines into it, and then go.
You take one stray look at the closet, and you're just like, why? And then you leave. Oliette very much in the best way, in the nicest way. Definitely play dress up. With Beza, you have no clothes. We have to fix that. And you all collect yourselves. You everybody give me a perception check.
Another 16.
1916.
Oh, another nat 20, so that's a 23.
Fuck, Beza. Beza, do you do anything looking for that guy you have any information about?
As we're going, now that we're all together again, through the mental connection as we're like running,
Yeah,
Beza,
you all are back together. Yeah.
Beza fills you all in on the information as much as she can. You know, obviously she's not giving you like his mother's brother's birthday, but she's
Sure.
telling you like his name, giving you a description, telling you what his address was based off of the information she got.
The guy's name was Elark. Elark Filvendor was the Mechanist Authority agent. You know exactly where he lived. You would have to walk a little bit to get to him, but it's not impossible. It would add a couple minutes to your walk to the gate if you wanted to scope out his place.
She asks if you guys want to go check it.
I don't want to risk it. What if he has a way to stop us?
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I just want to make sure we've got all the information. You guys don't have to. We don't have to. We can keep going. I'm all right getting the hell out of here.
No, I don't.
What are we going to find out? That he matches his socks? I mean, which gives you a slight pause that Verlaine doesn't match their socks, but it's fine.
Basically, if you seem to know so much about him, I doubt that there's anything that he could reveal to us in person. You know, if you know him frontwards from backwards.
Yeah, I mean, I know a disturbing amount. He doesn't like mint tea, but he does like chamomile.
He can't be trusted. We have to get out of here.
He doesn't like Brussels sprouts.
Like, I know that we have to get out of here was unrelated, but it really felt like the last straw there.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
Yeah. I Olead is we gotta. This is not. Nope. We gotta.
Yeah,
The
no.
only thing that like breaks my stride slightly is passing the bookstore. I think it's hard to not look at it. It's hard to know that I'll never go back in there.
Yeah.
But we have to go.
On the flip side, thinking about the bookshop does remind you of Uncle Eb, though, and the idea that getting out of here means you can actually talk to him.
Wait, Ollie, was there one that he didn't have that he wanted? We can grab that real quick.
I saved a couple of the ones I brought here that I didn't put in the store.
They were in the house.
And yeah, we don't.
I think
That's what.
Harlan
Yeah,
would have grabbed
that's what
those,
Harlan
yeah.
would have given. If Elaine's like, this one.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Okay. Yeah, Harlan got him to me. I got him.
I don't want to go back in there.
No, we got what we need. Let's Scarpa. Let's make ourselves scarce.
We got each other and we're all back to normal.
For now, but we have to get out.
Yeah, definitely. Incidentally, Sage and Faline filled the that whole laboratory area with rose briars and dirt. Also, I smashed everything.
Yeah, I gathered that from the flashing light and the sudden awareness that we were being held against our will here.
Yeah, that definitely hit my brain. I gotta fill you guys in on that later, but let's keep going for now.
Okay. Beza, with your nat 20 and Oliet with the 19, you both hear a bit of a fuss going on down the street as you see the townspeople, like some of them following something, like in a little bit of a, not a mob, but a bit of a crowd. And in front of the crowd, you see a figure moving a little disjointedly, almost like they're mechanical. And they're being followed by a bunch of the townsfolk. They can handle it, right? Right?
They don't look happy.
They're gonna have to. They're gonna. We can't.
Yeah.
We can't do
If-
anything from in here.
Well, and if we do something, is it going to bring down the hammer of the mechanical law upon the townsfolk?
I mean, if they're coming, they have to be after us. We're the ones that fucked it all up. So if we get out of here, hopefully they'll be more lenient.
They were definitely interested in us. They were
Elaine-
displeased that I existed outside of the equation.
Okay, let's unpack that later.
You see, the twins. Nickett has their arm locked with Toshi. Toshi's got a big ass backpack full of food. He's got a bottle of milk in his hand, because it's gonna go bad if we don't drink it. And Aaliyah's like, yeah, I've tried that one with vodka.
Oh, I definitely snagged all of the good berry wine that we have.
Oh yeah, no, Paru made sure. Valaine's like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't feel how much booze is currently in my arm right now.
You don't know, it might come in handy.
Yeah, right.
Keep running.
Well, as you all start heading for the gate, and you had that conversation just then, Valaine kind of hesitates, and you see him kind of staring back at the town for a split second.
What's up, V?
What if they just reset everything? What if they just put them back?
They might.
They weren't being hurt. We weren't being hurt.
Yeah, we did the hurting. And puts his hands in his pockets and starts following the kids. You all skedaddle. You all are probably maybe a mile outside of town. It's a big flat field, covered in flowers. You hear you're following the river a little bit, and there's this noise. And you look up and you see a couple of what look like airships kind of coming towards the town from the other direction. There's spotlights and stuff. You get the sense that that's the authority. The spotlights look very familiar to you, Basil. Like, it's the same vibe. So you're like, yeah, it's probably them. They like that whole, like, what do you know, sort of.
Sir, you are being hunted.
Yeah, basically. And you all just keep going. As you get further from town, that feeling of home, that feeling of having a place starts fading, starts melting away. And there's this moment that you get a bit of a knot in the pit of your stomach. Like, oh god, I don't know what we're doing. Where are we going? What are we supposed to be doing right now? It's very much like you did before you got here. That kind of being tugged in a bunch of different directions, not really having much of a direction other than, right, we're supposed to be going towards a tree. At some point during the walk, Villain busts out the map. He and Paru are looking at it, eyeing where Faegro was last seen. And you hope that you can find it. The tree that shifts around with the winds seems like a slightly harder thing to pin down than one would hope. So you keep walking. It is almost sunup by the time everyone is getting to a point where they need to stop. And you are at a crossroads, around a crossroads. Once people are starting to feel like that, the Villain is carrying Toshi. At a certain point, he just conked out. He took the food, put the food in his hand, and then started carrying Toshi. He looks tired, but he's doing what he has to. And the crossroads seems to point in a couple of different directions that you could decide on. One of them seems to be pointing towards a river. One of them is giving you a considerable mileage towards Fort Wildwood. And one of them is telling you that, pointing to the Corif Pass, which, when you look on the map, is a entryway through the mountains, heading towards the south part of the island. It takes you uncomfortably close to Chronogram 4, the island of Chronogram 4, which is labeled as Crystal Point on the old map that Villain has.
Well, if we go to the fort, I remember someone saying something about airships. But if we go to the pass, then we might be high enough that we might be able to see something. I can see the benefit either way.
You also see one that would take you to Port Lakita, which is on the northwest part of the island, which would take you straight through the territory of where the ship, or where the tree was seen on this map last.
I mean, do you think that where the airships are operating from is outside of the Mechanist authorities' influence? Because if it's not, then we should definitely not go there.
Did my download of Elark's existence include any information about his mission here or where he came from or anything?
Yeah, it did. You get some confirmation that your theory was pretty much on the money. This Rose Upon the River was chosen as a pilot site for a new method of indoctrinating the people of this island with a impetus or an imperative to stay and work for the betterment of their town. The idea that if that could be translated to the chronograms, it would allow for more people, especially those who are not of the quote-unquote appropriate temperament, to work in a place of order to help fight the chaos by their sheer just the act of working in a group is something that can help stave off that chaotic energy. If they could get more people to show up in the chronograms, to be there and want to stay, that would help with keeping the chaos energy from erupting below the chronograms. You don't get anything about the current status of that energy, but Elark was basically they called them the mortal liaison to the Mechanist citizens who were working there. You get the sense that he plays nice with them. He's a model citizen.
Maybe we should rest before we decide. Is there anywhere around that we would have passed within the last mile? I don't want to backtrack a lot, but is there a wooded area either before us or any of these places?
There's a little bit of woods. No, yeah, there's a little bit of woods.
Okay.
So yeah, you could I'm going to copy this into our private chat so you can see kind of the direction that these roads are leading you. So you can make a slightly more informed decision. So those are kind of the directions that you could go. But yeah, you're right on the river. You're following the river down.
We are way farther north than I thought we were.
Yeah, Rose Upon the River is basically where it's just south of where Marshale is. So yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I might just change that to Rose Upon the River. Because you guys didn't go to Marshall, so it doesn't matter. I can move it.
Yeah, if we stick along the river, somewhere that's wooded or like an enclave somewhere where the mountains begin, somewhere where
Absolutely.
we can
you can find some place with some cover.
Yeah.
You got to cross the river a little bit, but you can manage it, and so yeah, so you guys can find a little place to crash for a bit. And yeah, and I mean the kittens are grateful. They're tired, and so they are. They're pretty much out like a light the moment you set down camp. Villain immediately is setting them up. You guys find a spot, and there's pillows, there's blankets. He's like, we pretty much put the whole house in here, and at some point we'll figure out the weight limit. Haven't hit it yet. We'll have to ask. I'll have to ask Pimble.
I imagine that when your knuckles stop dragging on the ground, that might be a good indicator.
Ha. Huh. Fuck, Pimble.
We should talk to that man.
Well, we haven't rested, so I can't do that.
Isn't the stone?
I think you already used it that night. Para's gonna get rest to use it.
Right before we, Yeah,
you tested things. You're like, what happens if I message him?
We have to sleep before we can reach out.
I'll take first watch.
Okay. So, Villain basically sets the kittens up with a camp. He sits down next to them, kind of sidles up against the wall, and he's just kind of hugging a pillow, trying to sleep a little bit, but not really doing much. You can tell he's just kind of watching them.
I
Yeah.
will just kind of kneel down. You can rest. We're not going to let anything happen to them. I'll give his arm a squeeze, and I'm going to cast sleep.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
I'm still pretty beat up.
Yeah, he is. He's not fully healed yet.
I'll take it. Okay.
He's also a rogue. He's not going to have a ton of hit points.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Valine. 25 total.
You
5d8. Yeah, 5d8.
he does not get knocked out, but
I don't want to knock him out. I just want him to.
it's not enough to hit him. But he looks up at you as he kind of feels that happening. I get it.
I'll do it again if you don't go to sleep.
And he just kind of stares down at the kittens, sleeping. I could have left them. Or stayed.
We'd all have ended up back with the Mechanist Authority.
Do we know that? Like,
The airships and the information bouncing around in my head indicate probably.
okay. Yeah.
Someday they'll have a place.
We do have one. It's with us. It's just not a physical location yet.
Verlaine just nods slowly. Puts his head against the wall.
And we're definitely gonna fuck up anyone who tries to hurt him.
Yeah. Yeah. He finds your eyes, Oliet, and there's this little bit of a... He knows what your conversation was before. There's this little kind of acknowledgement in his eyes.
Mine and their me and Valine?
Yeah. There's this
Okay.
little bit of like, yeah, we had an awkward conversation tonight. He doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I don't. If there is a way to not betray my feelings, Oliet is as stony faced as is possible. Just I can't even go there.
He's not
Yeah.
He's not trying to push or read into anything.
Sure.
He's pretty much just like, okay. And he tries to close his eyes, and his mileage may vary. And Harlan, you take first watch, as everyone, for the most part, too exhausted to even not sleep out of stress. Like, there's just, you've been literally walking nonstop for several hours after just fighting something, and also having a tremendous amount of exposition dumped on you. So it's It's a lot. Oliet, while you're sleeping, you get a sending in your head. I know you all left. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. You know it's Feline. They came, the Mechanist folks, but they seem like they're just trying to clear things out and pretend like nothing happened. There was a bit of a scuffle.
I mean, I definitely am like, and like sit up. I imagine I probably like had my head tucked up next to Harland. I'm trying to listen. Does she sound? She sounds
Normal but worried.
okay. Not everything's peachy keen now.
No, she's.
Okay.
I mean, she's telling you what happened, like that they're.
Sure.
They seem like they're just packing up.
Okay. Okay. I will respond. I'm glad everything's all right. I'm sorry we had to run. We'll miss you, and I will check in again soon.
Okay.
I'll probably tell Harland about it and then go back to sleep.
Harland, about an hour before your watch is supposed to end, you get a sending. I am going to try this one more time because you are literally the only person I haven't tried sending to. What the fuck is going on? Paru messaged me today. I tried to contact her back. Then I tried sending to her. Nothing happened. Are you all dead? And you know it's Pippa.
Hi, fancy man. We're all good here. All things considered. They're getting smarter. And it's going to be bigger than it was before, I think. We're all alive. We've got a couple of... the kittens are doing fine. Sure sad that you couldn't make it to none of our roasts.
You're running out of words, Harlan. Any last thoughts?
Thanks for caring.
I tee you up and you knock him down. Goddamn. So, a moment or two passes, and you get another sending from Pimble. I think I just had a fucking heart attack. Hello? Glad you're all alive. I have literally been trying to contact you for months, and I don't know what any of what you said means yet. So we're going to have a larger conversation. I will work on that.
Understood.
Actually,
in the meantime...
He would have added something.
Do you need to retcon?
It's fine. He would have added something.
Retcon.
As he was like basically saying, I will figure that out. Are any of you sleeping right now?
He looks down at Ollie. Yeah, Nicket's asleep. Yes, they're all asleep. I'm the only one who's awake.
You imagine somewhere Pimble going, is there an adult that's awake? So, okay, that's all you get. You don't, he doesn't bother sending back. Yeah.
Continuing with the settings.
Yeah.
Nicket's awake. They're all asleep. I'm the only one awake. We need to find a giant floating tree.
You imagine somewhere Pimble going. Did you get into Paru's samples again? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So, you all are sleeping, other than Harland. And Oliette, as you were sleeping, it's a dreamless, dead sleep. Like, just processing a lot, but more like, I have no energy, I need to reset my battery before I can even start mentally unpacking what's happened. And so things are dark for, I mean, you're not really aware of how long. And then you have a dream. Like you fell into it. You are in the middle of... You're in the middle of Uncle Eb's shop. It is flumphless. It is Jacqueline-less. There's literally no one there except Pimble, who is sitting on a chair leafing through a book. And he glances up at you and goes, "Oh," slams the book shut. "You're awake." Nice to see you.
Sure.
Oh, this might be your first time. You're dreaming, but like I'm making it a dream, so you're talking to me right now. Hi. Love the look. Floral is lovely on you. Also weird, but lovely. It's both. It's kind of an odd thing.
Been an odd however long. What are you doing here? What am I doing here?
I am piggybacking on the fact that your boyfriend told me you were sleeping, and I needed to talk to somebody. For longer than 25 words, because dear fucking lord, I should make a better sending spell.
Called you all the time.
Yeah, you did. And you sounded like you'd gotten your brain washed through a blender. Like, you all decided to just stop everything and live in a quaint little flower town? Is that what I'm to understand?
Kind of. It wasn't.
Sorry, hold on. And he just kind of glances around, and it turns into, like, the golden hour. Like, the lights go down to warm. There's, like, some candles. It's a little chiller here. There's some tea suddenly on the table. And he's like, and he kind of flips his hand out, and there's also, like, booze on the table. Whatever you might need. It's your dream space, but I'm the messenger, so I can mess with it.
Okay. You might want to. Oh well.
I mean, I'm already sitting down. So
Yeah.
technically.
You look great, by the way.
Thank Thank you. I tried a new shade. It's a little more indigo than magenta.
I'm really into it. It's very nice.
Thank you.
I'm having a little bit of a hard time. I'm happy to answer any questions. I just spent several months thinking I had found my happily ever after, and it turns out it was a complete lie. So I'm still working on that. But
He slowly slides the booze forward on the
Yeah.
table. I don't
can I
know if
still
you
get
can.
drunk in my dreams? How does that work?
You could. I mean, it might taste like it. I can't guarantee you can get drunk in your dream. I haven't tried. Why don't you let me know?
Okay. So we are, I think, in the woods right now, or up mountain, or
Okay.
we were in this town and we just wanted to stay. And I guess that impulse was the result of like a. Beza explained a little bit of it as we were walking. It's like a new experiment where instead of forcing people out, they're trying to make people want to be in the city, in the chronograms. And in order to do that, they're making people feel like they never want to leave, and then it's this idyllic, perfect place, like impossibly perfect, and it's like that it's possible, but you still want to stay. It's a weird enchantment, something, and I knew something was fucking fishy about that place when we got there. I literally remembered on the way here. I remember being so pissed off because everybody was like, "It's so cute." And I'm like, "There's something fishy about it. Nobody will believe me." And here we are, 6 months later. My dreams are shattered, and everything's, here we are, back to square one. We've achieved nothing. So here's where we are.
Oliette, calm down. I would be pissed too. And your existential crisis is I understand. It is acknowledged. Why don't you sit and we'll talk? Okay? We have all the time in the world because as long as you're sleeping, we can talk.
Tell Harlan not to wake me up.
I'm busy right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. And I'll just kind of sit.
Yeah,
Or
it's a comfy
wherever.
chair. There are multiple comfy chairs. They're pretty much exactly the ones that are at Uncle Eb's. You gather that Pimble has possibly spent a lot of time at Uncle Eb's because he knows enough about what the bookshop looks like. Stop shipping it.
Can't control what goes
You can
on in
ship
here,
it. It's
Angela.
fine. You can ship them.
Yeah, no, I will just, grab a chair, like clutch whatever pillow or throw is available, like
Some comfy ones.
and
There is
just
one
start.
shaped like a flump though. Like a
Do
pillow.
not take that one. I do not take that one.
What, you don't like my dream Easter eggs? It's an homage.
Yeah, well.
He gives a little. You haven't seen that, like, rakishly bright smile in a very long time. He looks very relieved to see you. So, let's just stick to the now. You're near the mountains. Valane
Think
has
so?
maps, right?
Yes, can we make a map? I can show you what I know.
There's a map in front of you of.
Of course.
Well, no, actually, did he ever? You got maps. He doesn't have a map of the island. You got a map before you left. He doesn't have that information.
Okay. Well, then I will.
I can give you a
I would
pad and
ask.
paper.
Yeah, just you know what? I used to be good at this, so just give me a blank piece of paper and I'll start from scratch.
He conjures a freaking like graphing table, like drafting
Beautiful.
table. You have a whole sheet of paper.
Yeah, and I'll just recreate the map as best as I can. It's going to be pretty general, but I want to point out where the island is that we went.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to retrace our steps for him after we left the city. We went to this island.
Mm-hmm.
Long lost family. I'll talk about that when we get back. And then come back down this way. Here's where the city is, I think. And these are the ways that we can go. And I will explain that we are looking for this floating tree. Paru's... something... Maybe the Baba Yaga is there. Or maybe she has the next answer. I kind of don't exactly remember. But we're looking for the tree. That much I know.
Well, you did get a little sidetracked. Can't fault you for having some blank spots. But we'll figure it out. We'll find this, Faegro? Well, give it to that. They don't really name things terribly uniquely. Alright, well, you could go for the mountains and try to see how far you could see in the area. Giant tree might not be that hard to spot. You do note that that's exactly Harlan's suggestion. You could just cut through the hills right where it used to be and see if it's still around, or circled back. The fort...
I don't trust it.
Why not? Aren't they resistance? I mean, I don't blame you for not trusting things out there, but...
We thought that town was a sleepy little country... we thought it was a pit stop. How many more cities are they doing this to? You know, how many more places have been compromised that we don't know about? And there's no way to know until you get there, and then it's too late.
That suggestion, it's not like he hasn't thought of it, but it does sober his expression a little bit. The implication. It seems to me a fort. Well, you said that they were... We're going to assume you kind of gave him a bit of a rundown of what happened.
Yeah.
You said that... Do you tell him about the centaur guy knowing him?
Well, I was going to ask I can't remember what his friend's name is.
The guy, his name was Olvar God's Eye.
God's Eye. Yeah, I'll probably wait. I'll probably wait till there's a break in the conversation.
Sure. Sure. So your friends, the ones in Mythgar, they told you that there was a fort there that was the head of the resistance. I would imagine that's... If they're compromised, I mean, you don't know till you know. It'd be at least good to know if they're gonna be of any help, or if we should just move on without worrying about anyone outside. Who knows? Maybe it's just a crater at this point.
Okay. Dark, but I get it.
War.
Speaking of not knowing what you don't know, does the name God's Eye ring a bell at all for you?
Should it?
Maybe not. We met someone who knows you from before.
I hope you only heard good things.
They were that was an interesting individual, certainly.
That tracks. So they knew me. I'm sensing
They were kind of surprised that you got held in, given your history, that you were, I don't know, accepted to stay within the chronogram while others were pushed out. It seems that you may have perhaps also, I don't know, been a part of this before. You might be repeating this.
Suppose anything's possible. I don't
Well.
remember what happened before
I know.
being here, but I do have my share of ways around things. I mean, my tower, the paths to my place, those aren't exactly sanctioned.
Oh shit.
So I have ways of avoiding detection, so maybe some of it helped.
Maybe you just got skipped.
Maybe
Huh.
I slipped between the cracks on purpose. Huh. He said
Drac?
it filtered people based on their
I don't remember
temperament.
exactly. It's fuzzy in here. It's hard
Sure.
to access outside
No,
stuff.
Angela will help fill the details via
Yeah.
Pinball restating something you told him. They filtered them by temperament? Or...
Like, who would be most likely to not buck?
But how would they know that?
I don't know.
Beza, as you're watching this conversation in your dream, you think, oh, the equation.
Wait, Beza's here? What?
You don't notice Beza.
Oh, I don't see her?
You don't notice Beza.
Oh my
But
god.
Beza, you've seen this entire dream. This entire conversation. It's only now just occurred to you to speak up, though.
I
Oh,
actually know
God.
the-
Oh, God.
Fuck.
Beza,
Beza?
Hi.
I didn't make that.
Why are you what?
I know you didn't make me.
Pimble looks absolutely horrified. How? What? How? No.
Huh?
No.
Yes.
You. This is not. How are you here? This isn't your dream space.
You know I don't do the magic stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking how you hijacked my dream space.
I can't tell you, but I can tell you how they knew who to filter out.
Okay, I guess we'll put a pin in that. How did they filter out
They used the equation,
the equation?
the grand equation thing that they're always talking
Oh.
about, that I'm supposedly not supposed to exist in.
So, like, he flutters a bit at that, like, okay. The equation knows how people are going to react to things.
Yeah. This happened after Oliet and Harland left. Which is, I mean, I filled you guys in on some of it.
You had a lot of walking time, but yeah.
But basically, when we were destroying the thing that they used to control everybody in town, and by we, I mean mostly me, I grabbed a power source and had a lot
That's
of
not a
things down
smart
there.
idea. You typically don't want to grab things that are glowing randomly.
Well, my
It's like
plan was to smash it on the
wizard-
ground. It just
wizard
kind
rule
of magically put information in my brain before I could smash it. So I got a whole lot of stuff
Information.
bouncing around in there. Well, I know everything, like literally everything about the person who they had in that town to do the experiment.
Elcar.
Elark.
Elark.
Yeah.
I swear that's gonna come back. It's gonna be my new. It's gonna be my new thing, Beza. You're gonna just unintentionally stalk this guy because you know everything about him.
Literally everything. Like I even know his mother's brother's sister's cousin,
College
maiden names.
roommate.
I don't know. It's so confusing. It's all bouncing around in there. But
Lovely.
also that big orb thing that was in the laboratory, Oliet. So when I was looking around, waiting for you guys to tell me whether or not I could smash stuff, I was staring at it, and all of a sudden, it was like I got transported somewhere else. and these three really, really, really big mechanist thingies with red eyes started telling me that I was an anomaly and I'm a variable and I'm a remainder and I'm not supposed to exist and all this other stuff.
Rude.
Yeah, a little bit. They also talked about me traveling with other variables that were a problem. I pretended not to know what they were talking about. And eventually they sent me back and they kept talking about, the Mechanist Authority's coming. You have to wait so they can take you back to your designated chronogram, which of course we did not do. And then I smashed the orb, which completely broke the spell on the town, I think. But when I smashed it, I got a lot of different flashes since I was front and center. Some of the stuff that flashed through my brain was like different variations of reality. Like different.
Kimball and Iliad had the exact same look on their face.
Different. This sounds weird coming from my mouth because it's not stuff I usually deal with, but it was like different variables to the equation that could make different outcomes. And it was like I could see all of it. I still remember bits and pieces. I don't remember all the details, but like there was one where Paru was crying, and there was one where like Villain was happy and watching the kittens play, and then also mopey and evil again, and all this weird kind of stuff. It was like different endings to a story, depending on which page you turned.
Alternative outcomes. Different
I guess.
paths of fate?
I guess, but I mean, I could see all of it, so if I saw all of that for a glimpse when I smashed something, maybe they're able to use their equations to do all of that for everybody all the time?
But then how were they not able to account for us?
I'm kind of wondering if it's partly my fault. They kept saying that I don't exist inside any of the equation.
But is
The book.
Maybe. I don't know.
You spent a
But
lot of time in there. You were outside of this realm. They had no way to account for you.
Oh, I see what you mean. We went, well, but only a little bit of time.
But enough of you changed. You came back.
it does lie outside of their influence. I wrote the Queen before you broke that thing, and she answered. It was normal.
We changed up. So if we're variables, we made ourselves into different variables by going in the book.
We weren't variables before we went in. We were accounted for. We were at the...
You were at least going to be put back where you belonged, quote unquote. And then you stepped in the book and stepped out of their plans.
I mean, that would make sense. That would explain why they said I had other variables with me. Because I had all of you guys with me, too.
So there's no way to undo that, then?
Probably not. I mean, if you think about it, if they were calculating what we were going to do growing up here at the Reacclimation Center and everything as kids, and then suddenly we left the Reacclimation Center and reappeared, but as adults with completely different personalities from what we went in with.
No sense of what you experienced, no context for how you became what you became. There's so much, I hate to talk like them, but there's so much missing data for them. They don't have any way to really predict who you are or what you can do or why you do what you do?
It's like a math equation that's got only a couple of numbers and all letters, and you can't figure out what the letters represent. I had a lot of stuff downloaded in my brain.
You got
Saying
algebra.
downloaded, I don't know what
you
that
got
means.
algebra. I think Beza connected to something. When you broke that, Beza, you
You God now, Beza? Because that would be very helpful.
Beza's just like, I know kung fu.
I know Kung Fu.
You might
Not
know
as
kung fu
far as
now.
I know. I don't know how I ended up here. I don't even technically sleep the same way you do, so this is really weird.
You
Can you
Ooh.
screen all the time? Because that would also be very helpful to know.
What?
Not you, Pinball.
Okay.
Can I what?
Can you see into my head all the time? Is this a new thing you can do?
You have not
You
noticed
just go into people's
anything.
brains?
You have not noticed anything weird. This is the weirdest thing that's happened since you left.
No, this is the only strange thing that's happened since we left. I mean, other than the constant flashes of, like, bits and pieces of Elok's life that I really don't need to know about.
But like in the driest HR way, like not like you're not seeing glimpses of his life. You're seeing like the person who's typing it out. Like that's what you're getting.
Apparently, he folded his underwear when he was 5. I don't need to know this.
Okay, so
You spoke to like high levels of the Mechanist Authority, Beza. You connected with them.
Is that what those things were?
Big fuck all things. Yeah, they like. From what I gather, the Mechanist Authority likes to equate size to importance.
They were really big.
Yeah, that's usually the way it goes. Is the larger the creature, the more important they are.
wait.
They were really big, and there was 3 of them, and they had red eyes.
Great. That
I think
always
I frustrated
bodes
them a
well.
little
3
bit.
things with red eyes. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, I think I frustrated them a little bit.
I
I've
can
been
imagine.
trying to. So, you
Oh
know.
God, you know what I want
But
to
if
see?
you
I want to
can
see
do these things
Harlan
now-
talking to them.
I also might have flipped them off if they're connected with me, because at one point I saw them again, and I did.
That's what I'm trying to get at. What if they can get into your brain now? What if that connection isn't closed?
Well, so the first connection was when I stared at the orb. That's the only time I saw them until I smashed the orb. And then when I smashed the orb and all the magic or whatever was in it flooded into my brain, I saw them again for a brief second. But I haven't seen anything weird since then. Up until this.
I feel like if we've learned anything over the last few months, it's that they might be watching us when we don't know. Just because we can't see them doesn't mean they can't see us. Right?
But did you have any problems when you were on Mythgar? I mean, it doesn't mean they haven't tracked you since. Obviously, you were in their little experiment. Who knows if they knew who you were at the time. Well, actually, Beza, you might know that. You have like a Rolodex in there now, right? You could like
A little bit.
check. Beza, give me a intelligence check.
It's not horrible. It's a 14.
14. You
I don't have a
think
modifier, so 14 is good.
you have like kind of a top view of like the kind of data that was in that system that they were running the whole town from. You don't sense any sort of, I'm gonna be really weird with the way I describe this. You don't sense any sort of like red flags in the data that would have pinged you as like fugitives from the authority. So again, that idea that you're variables, that you're kind of outside the system. I mean, everybody out here is outside the system. You might be slightly protected by the fact that nobody there is a citizen of Mechanus, like you used to be, or a citizen of Cronus. So you don't get a sense that they knew who you were until you connected. That's when they kind of might have put two and two together.
I don't think they've been watching us. I don't. From what I can kind of pick through, it's a little hard to interpret some of it, and there's freaking numbers bouncing around in my brain. But
Sounds awful.
it's not fun. I don't like it.
It's just all quadratics and algebra. Quadratic is algebra, never mind.
So I think that they were watching the town because they were doing their experiment there, and they don't really have equations to account for everyone that's not in the towns. They're mostly focused on the towns because those are the parts that affect their order calculations the most. They were trying to do the experiments outside of town so that they didn't mess up their equations in town until they had it perfected.
I mean, yes, but my question is, you can now do this weird thing where you go in people's dreams. You could never do that before. Coincidentally, they now know who we are. So what guarantee do we have that they are not tapped in now all the time?
Pimble looks around and like slowly lifts a couple middle fingers.
I don't feel like they're in there. It was a very distinct feeling when I was actually connected to them.
Yeah, like they did not seem subtle. Like
They weren't trying to hide it. I don't think they could if they wanted to.
anyone who's seen Venture Brothers, they're very ignore me. That's kind of the vibe they have.
Well, I mean, what's done is done. I guess we'll just have to keep an eye out and make sure you don't
Ha.
get any more.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm in a weird headspace right now because I'm stressed.
Because you're
out
in
of
my headspace.
I'm stressed out of my mind, but I'm also very glad to see you and very confused, but also very glad to see you, Beza. Like, it's just a lot. I mean,
I like the new glitter color.
thank you. Yeah,
It
it was
feels
going slightly more
nice.
indigo. Yeah.
I need to.
I guess if I start acting weird, just have Elaine put me inside his hand. I don't have to breathe, so it won't kill me.
We'll put a pin in that. Put a pin in that.
You have a whole pin cushion at this point.
It's an option.
As long as he doesn't exceed the weight capacity, sure.
Oh, could you tell us what that is real quick? Because we might be pushing it.
It's not exact, but like 500 pounds?
Okay. We should be fine in like 3 days. I'm sure we will have knocked some of that out. Okay.
By we, she means Toshi.
Yeah.
Toshi's in the hand?
Can-
Oh,
No,
God.
he eats a lot.
No,
Oh,
it's a long. Don't. No, it's. Yeah.
it's not pertinent.
Are you. This is very accurate. Have
Thank
you
you.
seen my
I
uncle?
have a photographic memory.
Is he well?
Ebzik is fine. He's worried about you. I've tried to insulate him as best I could, not worry him too much about it. Granted, I personally have been freaking out. You're welcome. He's okay. I get this feeling he thinks something might be wrong, but listen, he very much doesn't expect to see you for a very long time. So I think he's okay. I don't know, he's got the flumps. And Jacqueline is an absolute delight. You knew I had to do that. Did I say something wrong? Do you not like the flumps?
I'm really just trying to focus on how pretty you look right now, Pinball. Because I'm afraid if I get too upset, I will shatter this entire thing and we'll all be shunted out of this conversation. So before we go...
I don't know what I did, but okay. Oh, you really, Oliat, really? Really?
Really? Miss, okay, like, you think that anybody believes that you're gonna climb up on a ladder in a skirt that short and not have alternative motives at play there? Like, I know that fucking game. I wrote that book, bitch. I know what you're about.
You wrote the book in the book.
I did. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, she is irrelevant in this moment.
Anyway.
What we need from you is if you can find anything out about... I mean, we'll look for this tree.
Now let me piece this back together. You're looking for the tree.
Right.
Because it will get you to the Feywild, so you can talk to the Queens of Fey.
Yes.
About getting
Maybe?
to an archive.
Yes, theoretically.
That will let you protect the book you have in your hand?
Well, sort of. Let's
like
call...
the
Yeah,
original,
that's
the first edition. The first edition of the book.
Leave it. Yep.
We'll call it the first edition. You have a second or third edition.
Sure. Yeah, that works.
So that's Epic Quest 1.
The archive.
The archive.
Just put your ear to the ground.
Okay.
If you can do this, I mean, I have confidence in you.
You know, I've been thinking on it, Beza, and I have a theory. You touched a hive mind, basically. A web of information that they all use to communicate with each other, the internet. But you also linked to their authority, so there is some sort of psychic link, or maybe it's planar. I don't know. If it's planar, that makes a lot more sense. But maybe you've just kind of residually picking up signals because you got... I don't know. I'm making it up as I go. Someone stop me.
I mean, it's as plausible as anything else I could think of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It could be planar. That place they were in, definitely didn't seem like anywhere here. It was very weird. I also saw this weird thing. It had, like, a duck bill, and it was furry, and it had claws, and a big flat tail. And it stared at me like it understood that I was seeing the end of the universe. And it had seen it too. It was very weird.
Pimble goes pale. I thought I was the only one.
It was the only... I mean, it was by itself in a big
white room, yeah. I've seen it too.
What is it?
Let's music chill out for a second. The stakes have never been higher since the platypus came into the game. It's a marsupial.
Alright.
One time it took my soul out of a pocket it had in its pouch. Sorry,
Okay.
I can't.
Okay.
I tried, Matthew. I tried to pick it up and run with it, but I couldn't.
Thimble, we have to go check on our friends.
Which ones? You seem to be accumulating a lot of them.
The ones that are alone in the woods right now, watching over at least one of our unconscious bodies. I'm still not 100% on like how this is working, Beza, and I love you, but like this is weird. So I'm working on a lot of things right now. Working on a lot of things.
Yeah, it's
You
all
haven't
right.
touched any of your dream alcohol.
I mean, I'm not gonna like if there's no guarantee, I don't want to risk the calories because I don't know if calories work in dreams either. And I have been stacking on the weight.
I'm sorry, did you think I didn't get Skinny Girl vodka?
It's gross. But yes. I have been eating pie for like 5 months apparently or something. So
It
like
suits
I
you,
have
let me
work
tell
to do.
you. It just if I were not tremendously gay.
That's probably the nicest thing you could say to me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Al
Also
seems to
incorporate some
like it.
florals. I bet he does. We'll talk later.
Okay. Goodbye. How does this?
You just wake up.
Oh, I just choose it and.
Well, I'll leave you. I'll go. Say hi to the kid. Say hi to the wife and kids for me. He like is about to sort of flippantly snap his fingers and then he stops.
Which one's the wife?
It doesn't matter. Gender's arbitrary.
All right.
I just take a long look around Ebb's bookshop. Okay, I'm ready.
I'm sorry. Sorry you lost your happy ever after for now.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're all alive and of your own free minds again.
Yep.
We'll call you soon.
Not if I call you first.
Okay.
For God's sake, be careful.
Yeah.
Have you met us?
Yeah, I knew it was futile to say that.
We'll do our best.
Well, sweet dreams. And everything goes white. And, Harland, you are waking Oliette up. It's her turn.
Hey, Shug, you were talking in your sleep.
Was I?
You said that I looked fabulous, and something about Jacqueline. I'm not sure.
Oh.
You wrote a book.
Yeah. I was having a really I was having a really weird dream, but I'll tell you about it later. Get some rest.
Sure thing.
I guess I will just post up.
Okay. You note that Beza is still kind of meditating a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm gonna just give a glance around the group, make sure everybody's still asleep, that no one else is talking in their sleep fitfully.
Nicket is, Verlaine is up against the wall again, Sitting down on the floor, Nicket is just kind of curled in a bunch of blankets that they scurried off with from the house. Toshi is coming back to sit down. It looks like maybe he got up and got some water. Probably a snack too, let's be honest. He probably got like a fucking sub sandwich. And he's walking back. He's kind of draped in a blanket, and he walks up to Verlaine and kind of sits next to him, kind of just like curls into him and falls asleep. And Verlaine, just kind of sleepy, puts his hand over him.
I mean, it's daylight, so...
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
That's part of your watch.
I think my perception's +1. Yeah, 13.
13? Okay, so you go through your watch, and relatively uneventful. Like you said, it's daytime. You're out in this sort of meadow, like you see in the outside the cave that you guys are hanging out in, a little like cliff outcropping you're hanging out in. You see out and there's sun. It's just very picturesque. There's like tall grass that's golden colored. It's just kind of almost like waves kind of blowing in the wind. And occasionally you catch a glimpse of like some sort of grazing animals. Thank goodness they're not equestrodons. You are out of that region. They seem to just be like deer, but the deer also seem to have some of that grass kind of growing off of them. So they really blend in well. And they kind of pass a little bit. And you see a very, very large bird kind of cast a shadow swooping past. It looks like it was kind of cresting across the mountain range. And you're very quiet. And you just kind of watch. It's like a huge bird of prey. Like gargantuan. Huge. You are probably, like, it's very, very high up, and yet it still looks very, very big. And so you kind of let that pass. Don't look anybody up. Maybe don't tell them you ever saw that. Don't freaking know. And yeah, you just sit there with, you've got your book, and things are quiet, and your watch kind of just passes quietly, other than the giant fuck-all bird.
Yeah.
Do you
Don't like that.
Do you do anything with the book? Or are you just kind of
yeah, if everybody's asleep and it's,
yeah,
especially after the bird shadow, probably just jot a quick note. Checking in, safe for now. Everything is a bit more complicated than we anticipated, but we are back on track. Hope that you're well. Probably leave it simple. Leave it at that.
You get a response back in her calligraphy. It has been far too long, my dear. I'm glad to see your words again. Life here goes on. Our charge never ends. Reminds me a bit of the crest of the Dauntless, if you recall that tale. Go ahead and roll me a history check.
Oh, I'm really good about history with books, though. Ooh, 18.
18. Her words are very calming and friendly in a way that doesn't feel insincere. But the Crest of the Dauntless is a story about an unseating of a tyrant.
Talking and thieves can't. This is scholars can't. Oh my god.
It's scholars. It's very good.
Okay.
It's the story of a kingdom that rose up against a dictator, and it was definitely a long game. They lay in wait for. It was a story of a tyrant, an immortal tyrant. There's all sorts of variations on what he was: a vampire, a lich, just a very old-lived person. Because it took generations to gather the swell of support that they needed to actually, like, rebel.
Holy shit, if we've been in that place for 5 months.
And, but this idea of the crest of the Dauntless in the title is referring to the actual moment of them launching their coup against the tyrant. Like that moment of being prepared to do that.
Wolf. Okay, ton of bricks. That's cool. Okay.
You see another message in the book. It would do my heart good to see you again if you have the time. Sometime soon. I do miss our chats.
Yeah, I will respond in kind. Just as soon as I can, I will come see you.
I have a copy of that story, if you'd like to read it with me again sometime.
It's been too long. I would like that very much. I have to go. I want to make sure this giant bird doesn't come back, but I miss you terribly.
I've missed lacking context as well.
I might not have enough ink for all of that, so I will check in later.
Okay. If a queen could use a winky face and not lose a little bit of her queendom in the effort, she would do so. And you close the book and look over your party members, everyone kind of in various states of calm and mostly just unconscious exhaustion. And there is so much to decide and do and avoid and process. But we won't be able to start any of that until next week. And that's where we're going to end the session. Holy moly, y'all. So, that was wonderful and stressful and delightful. thank you all so much for joining us tonight. And as promised, we have 2 more of our pins to give away. So let's do that first. And I will set that up. Let me see if there is literally a way for me to do the giveaway in a different way this time. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just resume what we had last time, because we only had a handful. So if you already submitted, you're still in, but if you want to put it in again, that's fine. I'm going to reopen our giveaway, and as a reminder, this is for our rainbow dice, or fuck, no, none of that. This is for one of our Dragon Egg Pride pins, which you can see right now in the screen. We're almost finished with our Kickstarter. We have a little more than 24 hours left. And we are celebrating and spreading the word and the joy and the pride by giving away 2 more of our Rainbow Pride pins that we have right now. We literally have them in our hands, and we can send them to you a little bit early before we get our Kickstarter wrapped up. But please go ahead and put in exclamation point B-Day, B-D-A-Y, into the chat if you want to be submitted for the giveaway, and you will be put in entry for getting one of these pins. Let's talk a little bit about our sponsors. Yeah, if you're not getting a response back, it's because you're already in, so that's a good confirmation that you're already in the thing. Thank you for turning off your green screen, Heather. That's appreciated, so you can see the green now. So beautiful 1.5-inch pins. They are gigantic and beautiful, and very, very excited to start getting them into non-Nerdsmith hands, because I think some of the directors have them, but we haven't really been doing much with them yet. But because of the Kickstarter, we will be finding things in... we'll be getting things into our Etsy shop after the Kickstarter is done and our fulfillment is complete. So tell your friends; they'll still get a chance to get a few of these. We'll see if it warrants buying more of them. We will now have a little bit of.
He's got a new subscriber.
Oh, thank you, Dana, for the subscription. So, real quick before we finish, don't forget exclamation point B-Day. I think pretty much we have a pretty stable viewership tonight, so I don't think we have many new people adding to the giveaway. But we are sponsored, very gratefully sponsored, by Die Hard Dice, who this is our last episode of the month, so don't forget to check out their site with all of their kick-ass stuff, and you can use the code Nerdsmith-June, and you can get a 10% off your purchase. This month we were talking about the black square magnetic velvet dice tray. As I said, I've got a hex one in a pretty blue, and it's a snappy one, but same thing, but it's magnetic, and you can completely flatten it, makes it hyper portable, and works with their dice towers and such. They're really lovely dice rolling accessories. But if you get the bug and you want to get some dice as well, Mitch got his. It's was it like a pink or a magenta velvet dice tray, and it came with a metal dice. It's so pretty, and so it's just really gorgeous quality for their work. So you should definitely check them out, and they are also really, really cool people, and also big supporters of LGBTQ plus pride. Check out their who did they work with? Darn it, I should have had that prepped. They collaborated with another dice company, or with another company, and made a really beautiful set of rainbow polymer dice that 100% of the proceeds go to the Trevor Project. No, it wasn't Level Up. It's like I Heart Dice or something. I should just know that. I shouldn't say things. But but you should check those out. 100% of the proceeds from those rainbow dice go to the Trevor Project, and instead of the 20, there's a little heart on that side of the dice. It's very cute. It's really pretty with gold. It's got gold on it as the inking. It's really nice. So check them out at dieharddice.com and roll with the best. We are also sponsored by Eldritch Foundry. Let me get this wall of fog away from Paru so you can see our beautiful heartbeat dice. Thank you, Pygmy. Heartbeat. You see our beautiful character designs from Eldritch Foundry. They have some really fabulous fantasy race characters and assets and things that you can get. I personally am a tremendously big fan of Harland with his little cleft chin. It's the cutest thing. The Faebles are very good. But please check them out at the link in our chat. If you go there, you will be helping support the network with any purchases that you make through Eldritch Foundry. So please take a look if you want to get your 3D printed miniatures or get any digital stuff from them. The digital stuff is free, so try it out. We are also finally sponsored by World Anvil. World Anvil is exactly the kind of thing that I would want to go to when I'm making world building stuff, and I use it for all of my games. I use it for this game a little bit. My brain is sort of full, but we are storing our fiction and some downtime stuff on our World Anvil. Our patrons that support us on Patreon get access to some exclusive fiction that Kyle has drafted up and keeps doing and stabbing me in the feels every time he wants to do something. So you can get access to that via our Patreon page. So you should consider joining us, patreon.com/nerdsmith, and help support our show. If you liked what you watched tonight and you want to see more, you would be actively helping us keep the lights on, pay our performers, pay our artists, and make sure that we're giving everybody a decent, getting their fair share for the wonderful work that they do here. So yeah, that's what I got. Let's roll some winners. Let's see what happens. I'm very excited. All right, so winner number 1 of 2. We're gonna close the entries. And we're gonna pick another winner. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Alora! Alora gets a pin! Alora gets a pin! Hooray, Alora! I'll get your info.
Yay!
Awesome, so you're gonna get one of those dragon egg pins. Kick ass. And then our last one is Mitch! Mitch, you get one. Stormborn Crow gets one. Look at you. You came in. I appreciate that you had to go to work and then you still managed to catch us. So thank you, Mitch. I will also get your stuff because I have to send you something anyway. So I'll send you your pin. Hooray! Thank you so much for watching. You all are amazing. Thank you to Tessa for requesting that Illica Firestarter show up in this game. That's a former PC of hers. So I got her in. Matthew, you maniac, I have missed you so much. Thank you for the platypus that has seen the end of days. Specifically, this really does deserve an actual reading of his request. A platypus that experiences all time simultaneously. It cannot communicate and only stares at you with eyes full of knowledge that no being should possess. And also, thank you, Matthew, again, because you're awesome, for a version of Paru from One Possible Future. She says exactly 6 words before fading from reality. You very much influenced Basic getting those visions. So that's fun. You can blame Matthew for anything that happens in the future, Heather. But yeah, thank you so much to Matthew and to Tessa for your contributions, for your tips tonight. It was super awesome to get some cool some cool characters. And Shadow Sylvia, thank you so much for the Wheel of Causality, which also contributed to Beza having weirdness happen to her. So yay randomness, creating plot lines. I'm so excited. That is my new favorite one. So
Time platypus plushies.
oh my god, yes, the time platypus. But thank you so much, actually, to Alora for that idea. I believe that's where that Wheel of Causality entry came from. That you encounter some higher being, you have a short conversation with you, and you leave, and it takes note of you. That's just gold for a DM. So I'm very excited about that. About that particular, we're gonna leave that one on because I love that one. I just want to add more and more higher beings taking note of you all. So I know we're running a little late. Thank you all so much for staying up with us. We really, really appreciate you all. And we're so happy to be wrapping our Kickstarter. Thank you again. I know that the vast majority of you on here are also supporters on the Kickstarter, so thank you so much. And we will see you here next week. Same time, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, here on We Are Nerdsmith on Twitch. Follow us here, and follow us same account name on Twitter, and you'll get pinged when we go live. I also run Monday night 1 hour D&D prep, basically. I make maps, or I prep for the show. Mostly make maps because it's a little safer than prepping the game, because I know some players are delightful and they like to come hang out and chat. So we try to keep it spoiler-free on our Monday nights. But you can join me for Discover RPG at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But that is all I have, as Harland is being slowly decomposed on camera. That can't be safe for work. We will see you all next week. Have a wonderful week. Have a very safe rest of your weekend, or have a very safe weekend. And we will see you next time. And please, 1, tell your friends about our Kickstarter. And 2, please do me a favor and be good to each other. All right, everybody. Good night. And good luck. To be continued. Bye.